I had done something that had so just offended him and upset him that he went on a whole thing and went to Twitter, of course, and so the people who were knew who it was. He didn't tag me in it, but he went on a tirade about it and said some stuff that he shouldn't have. And, it's like, okay, I try, and if I have a problem with somebody, I try to keep it personal and between me and them. And so I never said anything bad about him on Twitter. I was like, well, I'm still going to give him credit for the stuff that we did. And, even until recently, anybody asks me what happened is like, we had a personal situation. We don't rock like that. But, I loved everything. I appreciated everything that I learned from him, blah, blah, blah. And, still trying to keep it neutral until I had a talent ask me what my opinion was of working with him. And it was I can't remember what it was. She caught me at a bad moment, whatever. I said very clearly, move with caution. When he's good, he's great. But when he gets upset and he gets angry, he is mean and he can be vicious. So whatever you do, if you want to work with him, fantastic. You'll have a great time and you'll have a great experience. But just be careful.
Now
And
let's
that was
stop
what
right
I
there
sort of.
for a second. Let's stop at that right there.
Right.
In this business, part of this business is talking and communicating with each other. Producers do it, male talents do it, female talents do it. Come and think about any fucking business you could think of on this fucking planet. People talk to each other. That's part of it's called networking. So, one, in my opinion, you shouldn't. How can I put this? You shouldn't have been held accountable. That's on the model because not every model going to have the same experience that you might have had.
Exactly. Like I know for a fact, I can think of 3 people off the top of my head who have had just wonderful, great experiences. It's been professional. Everybody had fun and it was a great experience. And I'm not even mad at him because again, when he wants to be, he's a great dude, but that's how narcissists tend to move. And the love bombing. And it's like, it got to a point where during our friendship that I had friends would be like, when he comes around, you act completely different. I was like, yeah, I'm walking on eggshells because I don't know what the next thing I'm going to say is that's going to be wrong, and he's going to blow up at me. And he would just completely tear me down. And of course, sometimes he would apologize, but usually it would end in me apologizing for whatever thing that he said that I had done that was just so terrible. And sometimes, okay, it was just me not knowing. And, I'm not perfect. I have never claimed to be perfect. And I make mistakes. And I'm grown enough that I will admit when I do make a mistake. But if I don't understand that I've made a mistake, you can't expect me to read your mind and know that this is something that's not okay or is okay. Or conversely, things that could be okay one day can't be okay, not okay the next day, and then get mad.
So when it comes to him, because of course y'all had a physical relationship as well. I mean, off camera.
Ish.
Period. Which I mean, it happens in the business. Let's keep it real. It happens. Period. That talent, producers, what have you, they rock off camera. I mean, it is what it is. Period. Trust me, there's male talent that probably be like, look, if since you knew in town you gonna be here, the weekend, have it, you need your back burned out, give me a call, you know what I'm saying? It happens, you know what I'm saying? So it's not anything that is uncommon. But from what I get from our talks, and even from Marie, and it seems like he becomes very possessive in a personal way, that especially when you're doing business. Is that a good assumption?
Um, I'm not sure it's so much possessive because we didn't really have that type of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the issue became it for us. It was every time somebody even whispered something, he would take it to a whole conspiracy theory that everybody was out to get him. And like even
Mm-hmm.
now, like he's posting on talking about how Ty sent a mole to him. He's talking about me. And
Mm-hmm.
no, I legit thought of Brandon as family, and he was one of my best friends. And we had a
Wait,
fight.
wait a second. He said Ty sent the mole. Wait a
Yeah,
second. Hold on. He done beat out Mr. Perfect, ladies and gentlemen. For completely nutcase. Hold on. Let's put a pin on that. People, let's think about this for a second. So Ty is gonna take time out of his day to meet up and coordinate with Princess Havoc
who
to infiltrate Throat Ward in Atlanta.
and do you know how that conversation went down? The whole conversation that happened was Ty was one of the very first people. Ty and Mandy Maytag were the two of the
Mm-hmm.
first people who ever talked to me or ever gave me any kind of information or any kind of guidance. I was talking to Ty. I said, I'm having trouble meeting people in Atlanta. I don't know how to go about finding people to work with. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like, there's crazy people in the world. And so, I don't know who's safe to work with or who's a scammer, well, do you know
Mm-hmm.
anybody who I could possibly talk to? And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, he's like, I know this guy, Throat Wars, we've had a kind of rocky past, but, um,
Mm-hmm.
he's local to you and you guys might enjoy working together, and I reach out to him and see if maybe he can work with you. And I was like, all right, cool. And it's like and then I immediately I said, hey, my friend Ty said blah blah blah, like, hey, whatever. And it was really like it was perfectly innocent. That was the extent of the conversation about it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like this dude's creating like his whole thing, and he's trying to make me look bad at this point. It's like he's hitting me with DMCA's on content when he said he was never paid for production. Well, we did a content trade. I wasn't paid for those scenes. You weren't paid anything. We did a content share. Somebody has a camera. That's literally how all of content exchange
Mm-hmm.
works. You can't after the fact say, oh, I don't like you anymore and fuck you, I'm going to take these scenes back. I know we have a release signed. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and like with the logo, he gave me that logo as a gift. There's, if you scroll back far enough in Twitter, there's look what Third Zone Productions gifted me for my birthday or some. It
Mm-hmm.
was around August of last year. He gave it to me. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I was so proud of it and I loved it. I thought it was so beautiful. And I still love that logo. But for the
Mm-hmm.
last month, I've been already looking for somebody to make another one. I already have one being made right
Mm-hmm.
now. So I was already planning on rebranding a little bit and taking Princess to a different level. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
he hits me with the DMCA's. I was able to submit my paperwork where it was showing that no, we did these scenes on content trade and here's my release. And they said, okay, cool. Make sure you attach them to the videos because that would have stopped the email. Okay, cool. My bad. I need to go back and do that. I've since pulled it down because at this point, it's not the point of he doesn't want me to have it up and if whatever. It's I chose to take it down, not you trying to force me to and trying to scare me into taking it down because I happened to tell one person that I would be careful when you're moving with him because he does exactly what he's doing now, which he does to anybody who has a differing opinion to him or quote unquote disrespects him. If he has any kind of beef with someone, he'll air it out. And then when he has a negative consequence, like people came for him after he was making a big deal about the logos. Well, people said stuff, but you're like, oh, look what all the drama I'm in. Well, you kind of created the drama. Like, if you would be working and leaving everybody alone and not worried about this shit, like I literally all I wanted to do